All right, welcome to another video of Founders Drive. This is the series where I'm having, a real one-on-one conversation with you about my journey, as a seven-figure entrepreneur, scaling my agency to seven figures plus. That's like 1 million plus a year, and building my team and all that. So, just to give you an insight on who I am, I'm Mazen Fazl. I'm the founder of GoFunnels. If you can kind of read it all over me, I like wearing my brand all over. We have launched over 2,000 plus funnels across 300 plus clients we've worked with, and we've built, AI systems, automation systems, funnels, and all this infrastructure. Now, in today's video, in this talk where it's no fluff, no edit, just real talk, I want to give my 5 pieces of advice when it comes to all the reels and videos and TikToks that we get flooded with on a day-to-day basis as entrepreneurs. Now, to be clear, I'm not talking about doom scrolling. I'm not talking about like watching memes and watching this random junk out there. I'm talking about specifically business or entrepreneurial related videos. A lot of the videos to do with business, scaling, things here that could be YouTube videos, it could be shorts. I mean, there are plenty of them out there. And if you're an entrepreneur and you've like been training your algorithm on Insta or TikTok to only give you like business advice videos, then you're probably getting all of them in your feed, right? So in this video, I want to talk about how to make sure you're not wasting your time with these videos and that you are actually getting the most value out of them. Because the truth is, when it comes to learning educational content on YouTube to do with business, we like to trick ourselves into thinking about 2 things. First of all, by watching them, we are learning. And then the second thing is by watching them, we are being productive because we are learning, getting value, getting content. Well, that's not always the case. Yes, we're learning, but a lot of the times things go in here and come out the other side of the ear, or they just go in and they're not being utilized. Okay. And another thing is we think we're being productive, meaning we waste hours just watching content after content after content, just taking everything in, but we're not actually doing anything with it. We're actually wasting our time learning when we could be executing and actually getting into work. So these are my 5 pieces of content that I want to go through in this video, unedited, no fluff, all real, just me and you. My 5 pieces of content when it comes to the the doom scrolling of business content and the watching of TikToks and reels and all this. Um, let's call it the advice overload, right? The overload of advice that you get from the internet. Now, my first piece of advice is that this overload of advice and content does not. It's actually paralyzing. So it leads to action paralysis. What I mean by that is we consume so much that we stop moving, right? We scroll past 17 secrets of scaling and how to scale to 30K a month or how to build a $100 million business. And we do none of them. We don't execute anything we learn. So that's the biggest problem. We live in a time where knowledge isn't the issue. And that's the truth. Everything's in Google, get everything from ChatGPT, the YouTube content, the shorts, the reels. Knowledge isn't the issue anymore, okay? The issue is action. Who takes action is the one who will succeed, okay? And this is something that you must have seen, if you're consuming a lot of business content, entrepreneurial content, then what is the one thing a lot of entrepreneurs have in common? They take action and they're quick when it comes to taking action. They don't waste time. So if all you do is doom scroll, you go through your phone, oh, this is a TikTok, oh, let me see how this guy did this. Oh, a new interview with this billionaire. Yes, you're getting good value from it. That's good, but you're taking in so much, especially if you just keep doom scrolling and going to different things. You're seeing like 5, 10 different pieces of value, but you're not doing anything with them. So you're just sitting there. And I'll give you a good analogy. It's like if you went to the gym and you hired 20 personal trainers and all 20 of them were in front of you in the gym shouting at you, to do this and do that. Like, what are you going to do? Who are you going to listen to? You're going to be in a state of paralysis. Your best bet would have probably just been going by yourself and picking up the weights and figuring it out yourself and seeing how heavy you can go, and maybe getting injured and making a bit of a mistake, or not seeing growth and then tweaking things and then growing. So that could be a good way. But or you can just hire one trainer who takes you as far as he can take you, and then you move on to the next, and then the next, and the next, depending on the level you're in. So that's kind of like good analogy with how you can treat it with your business. Either watch one guy who is where you're at. So for example, if you're a marketing agency, find one of these marketing agency YouTubers. If you're a dropshipper, find one of these dropshipping YouTubers who have been where you want to go, who have done what you want to do. So find one of them and copy them and just stick to them. And then once you've reached their level or past them, then move on to the guy that's above them or the next level above them. That's how I would do it, rather than just watching all 50 dropshippers on YouTube and taking all their advice. So that's the first thing, is make sure you actually take action when you watch these videos, and don't just watch everyone under the sun and do nothing with that knowledge. You're better off watching one content today and implementing that one content or that one piece of value from that content, than just thinking you're gaining knowledge and taking things in and it's stuck in your head now. That's not how it works. All right, that moves me on to my second piece of advice, and that is the algorithm has no context. What do I mean by that is, yes, we can get the algorithm to only show us business videos or entrepreneurial videos, but the algorithm will never know the size of your business. It will never know how much revenue you're doing a month. It'll never know how many team members you have. It'll never know your offer. It'll never know what types of clients you're trying to close. So the algorithm will show you random content from some guy who's doing 100 million a year, and it'll make you think you need to do what he's doing. Or it'll show you some random piece of content from a guy who is doing 10K a month, and he's on YouTube, and because he's on YouTube talking about, his journey on entrepreneurship, you think, no, this guy is much bigger than he actually is, but no, he's only doing 10K a month, and you're doing what he's telling you to do. So, I mean, how do you know if that's good? Or how do you know if you should follow the guy who's doing 100 million a month, You need to understand that the algorithm doesn't know what stage you're in. So you need to be the one who filters these videos manually. You need to see the titles. Like, if the first 1 minute is not giving you the answer you want or doesn't explain what you're going to get from this video, move out and go to the next. Okay? And only consume content and value that is relevant to the stage you're in your business. Because what works for someone scaling from, I don't know, 1 million a year to 10 million a year, which is like the kind of stage I'm in right now, trying to get to 10 million a year within the next 3 years, is not the same value and content. Uh, the advice for that will destroy someone who's trying to get to 30K a month. Will destroy someone who's trying to get to their first, 10, 20, 30K a month, because it's not the same advice that you'd give them. I'm in a different playing field, right? I don't need to be doing these beginner stuff, and you don't need to be doing these advanced stuff if you're in that level. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So the stage you're in, the advice you get will be more relevant or will be more effective depending on the stage you're in. For example, if I'm just starting out, why do I need to worry about, you know, culture, business culture, and team culture, and how to ensure that you're building a strong, internal organizational culture? I'm literally just starting out. I'm a one-man band. Like, why does that matter to me? So just make sure that you are filtering the content based on where you are, and what stage you're in as an entrepreneur, as a business owner. And don't just apply random tips to your business. If you watch one short where the guy is like, make sure that you uh, always send your clients a gift basket when you close them, that's going to increase your retention rates. Like, don't just listen to that guy. It depends on your offer. If you do that and you're charging your clients like $10,000 for one program, yeah, maybe that makes sense. It's a nice little welcome basket, reduce the buyer's remorse. If you're charging $30 for, I don't know, a book, like, why would you want to do that? That's such a waste. So it depends on your stage. All right, let's move over to the third piece of advice I have, and that is, um, you start solving problems that don't even exist or that you don't have to worry about yet. What do I mean by that? If you're watching a lot of content and there's so much content out there, you see a nice video, maybe your favorite YouTuber posts something and he's like way ahead of you in the game and he talks about something, he might be solving a problem or giving you a solution to a problem in that video or in that short that you don't even have to worry about yet, that you haven't reached yet. For example, they might have a video out there that's to do with, I already mentioned like business culture, but maybe a good one could be, how to reduce your churn rates to less than 5%. Like, yes, that's very useful, honestly. Like having low churn rates is definitely important, especially if you have at the 5% level, that's the sweet spot. Anything less is hard but amazing. Anything more might be too much. But if you are doing 20K a month and you're still figuring out what your offer is, you're still figuring out what your pricing should be, you're still figuring out who your target audience is, like, bro, your churn rate is like the least of your concern at this moment. Figure all that out first. And then once you figure that out and now you're getting consistent revenue, how do you make sure that you're reducing your churn rate to keep that top line high? So again, very good video, very good information, but not relevant to your stage at the moment. Okay, it's giving you an issue to solve that you don't need to worry about, and it's making you uh put time and effort into solving churn rates, for example, when you should be putting time and effort into solving acquisition, okay, or offer or product. So just again, another thing to keep in mind. Um, and as a founder, as an entrepreneur, it's true, we get obsessed with these advanced tactics too early. We want to just take in and learn and think that by learning everything, we're going to get smart, and we take in information we don't need to know. There are levels. Like if you're learning a new language, for example, if you're learning how to speak French, you don't go to level 3 advanced stuff on day one. You start with the level 1 beginner. You learn the alphabet, you learn the numbers, you learn how to say my name, je m'appelle Mazen, you know, uh, je n'ai pas François. And then you get to the crazy conversations and all that. So you gotta, take the right information depending on where you are, whether you're beginner, advanced, intermediate, and the size of your business, the revenue you offer, and all that information. All right, that brings me to my fourth point, and that is, and I'm not hating when I say this, I just want to say this so you understand, because I'm literally doing the same thing to you at the moment. A lot of these people you watch, these shorts, these YouTube videos, at the end of the day, it's all just marketing to get you into their ecosystem, okay? No hate, I'm literally doing the same thing. But when you watch someone and you stop when you're scrolling and you see someone's video and you like it and you click on their channel and you watch all their videos and then you end up clicking on their link and maybe you end up joining their course because you think they'll help you, that's all on purpose. It's all done by design, right? When Hormozi says, give value, 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 until they reciprocate, that's a psychological, marketing tactic. It's called reciprocation. When I give you so much value, you feel compelled to give me something back. And that could be purchasing one of my courses, which I don't sell. I don't sell courses. I work with other businesses to help them scale. It could be working with my team. It could be whatever it may be, jumping a consultation call to seeing how they could be a partnership. It's all by design, right? It's normal. It's how it works. You just need to be aware of it. And some people don't care. I don't care if I get sold. I don't care. I wanted to get sold. So um, just be aware of that. So a lot of these people, the value might be good, but they of course are sucking you into the ecosystem or getting you into the ecosystem so they can upsell you later on down the line um, to purchase whatever it may be, their service or their program or whatever consultation, which is fine. Which is absolutely fine. I'm doing it, and if you're a business owner, you should be doing it too. We all know that. All right, that moves me on to my final piece of advice, and that is the only way to build clarity is through action. So the only way to know whether you are going the right direction or whether uh, you should be watching this video or that video or whether um, you are doing what you need to be doing is by, again, taking action and executing. Because what happens is it's a feedback loop. You execute, you make mistakes, you fail, you go back, you start again, you execute. It's a bit better, but you still fail. You scare again, you execute. You're making moves, things are looking better. You execute on top of that, and on top of that, and all of a sudden you're finding your flow and you are making waves and you're moving, and you want to stick to that path. So again, the faster you act, the faster you learn, the longer, and that's the same with the videos you're watching. The longer you scroll and keep do scrolling, the foggier all the information gets. The more you take in, you like, I'm thinking about your brain like has so much capacity. It's like a solid state drive, or like an SD card, right? If the capacity for the SD card is like 100 gigs, you cannot fit 110 gigs of data in there as much as you want to try. Okay, the only way to do it is to delete old files to make space. Think of your brain the same way, man. Like if you're gonna keep watching, if you're gonna watch 3 1-hour business podcasts back to back, you're not gonna learn anything. Okay, the first video, you're gonna forget all of that content. The second video, you remember half of it. The third video, maybe you'll retain some of it. But like, what was the point of wasting 3 hours trying to take that in? You are better off watching 1 hour and just implementing whatever you learned that day, and that's it. And then the next day, watch a second video, implement. The next day, watch a third video, implement. You're better off doing that. So try spending less time doom scrolling and just watching back to back and wasting time, and just get on with it and take the value, take the one piece of advice and execute on it and move on to the next video and the next piece of advice. So I'm not saying don't watch videos, don't learn through the internet. Everything I know about business, I self-taught through ChatGPT, through YouTube, through uh Google. Okay? I didn't go to university, and like the stuff I learned in university is not the same stuff I'm doing right now. So yes, I learned, but my advice is don't just waste time watching, thinking you're being productive. You're actually just wasting time and procrastinating. Just jump into the deep end and get things done. Okay? In your day to day, you will face a problem, and then you just go to a video and search the problem and watch one of the solutions and try and execute it. If it's a good solution, it might work. If it's not, then it might not be right for your business. Move over to the next one. And as you keep doing that, then that's how you'll build that ability to filter and know whether whether this video is right for you or not, depending on your experience, because you know that actually this is what I need, because this is the stage I'm in as a business. This is the type of business I am. And it's just like that. That's then how you start to use social media and YouTube and these TikTok reels and Instagram reels and YouTube videos as an asset rather than as a liability, because now they're not distractions anymore, and taking you from building your business. They're now tools to allow you to grow and unlock the next level, because you're using them wisely and you're using them in a way that actually help you growth rather than hinder your growth. So yeah, that's my rant for today. Let me know which of these 5 pieces of advice was your favorite. Let me know which one you're going to implement, because like I said, there's literally no point in watching this video if you're not going to implement one thing. So choose one of these pieces of advice and go implement them. What I would say is my number one piece of advice that you should implement regardless is just execute. We're not living in the time where knowledge is the issue. We are living in a time where execution and action is the issue. And with AI coming up, like even that's not going to be an issue anymore. Like honestly, in the next 2 years or even in the next year, knowledge and execution will not be the issue. It'll be the people who are just motivated or bothered to actually get something done. So you need to see where you are and execute and fail and learn from those mistakes and filter these videos to make sure you're not wasting time watching videos that are not relevant to you. Even if you love a YouTuber and he releases a new business podcast, if that business podcast has nothing to do with where you are, don't waste your time. Don't waste an hour of your day watching it. Honestly, get on with work and grow your business. Maybe you do it in the weekend when you're having fun time or free time, then you can watch it then. So that's my piece of advice, and I hope that was good. Let me know in the comments which piece of advice you will follow. If you have more pieces of advice, drop it down in the comments. I'd love to read them and let's have a discussion in there. Please go ahead and subscribe and like this video. It'll help with the algorithm and we'll get this video sent out to more people who need to hear it, like yourself. And yeah, I am looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Founders Drive. So go out there, stop watching this video, stop watching any other videos now. Go and build your dreams and stop watching me and all these other guys on YouTube build their own dreams. Go and get yours built. I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.